What if the world around you isn't real, in the way that you think it is? What if what you see around you, the people, the circumstances, the results, isn't reality at all, but a custom, projection, rendered by your own mind? Because that's exactly what's happening. You don't actually see reality. You translate it. Your beliefs, your focus, your identity, they are the software, and reality is just the output. And here's where it gets interesting. While neuroscience explains how we do this, how the brain converts frequencies and signals into form, spirituality explains why it matters. It tells us that we're not the body interpreting the signals. We are the consciousness observing the interpretation, the projector, the chooser, the creator. This means that what you see in the world is not the full truth. It's simply only one version of infinite possibilities that are available. And in this video, you're going to learn why you only see and experience what your brain is trained to recognize, the truth behind perception and consciousness, and how to train your mind so it bends reality automatically, without effort and without waiting. Because once you understand how reality truly works, and how it's formed in the calm mind, you can stop chasing it and start directing it. Most people assume that they're walking around, taking in a complete, accurate picture of reality. But the truth is, you're only seeing a tiny fraction of what's actually available. The brain receives over 11 million bits of information per second through your senses. But your conscious mind can only process about 40 of those bits. So what happens to the rest? Your brain filters it out. It deletes what it thinks isn't relevant. It distorts things that don't match your current belief systems, and it generalizes patterns that feel familiar, even if they're not true. There's a gatekeeper between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, known as the reticular activating system, and it basically decides what gets your attention based on one thing: what it believes is important. And how does it know what's important? Based on what you've repeated, what you've believed, what you've emotionally rehearsed over time. So, if you believe life is hard, you'll see more difficulty. If you believe people can't be trusted, you'll notice the betrayals. If you believe you're unlucky or unseen or stuck, your reticular activating system will literally filter out evidence that could contradict that. And why does it do this? Because your brain is loyal to your belief systems always. So it's not showing you all the truths available, it's showing you the truth of what it's been trained to find. And that training comes from your beliefs, your focus, and your emotional history. And that's how you experience your reality, as a manifested version of your mind. But you are not your brain or the inner workings of that. You are the consciousness directing it. You are the observer behind the lens, the chooser behind the filter, the awareness with the ability to reprogram what gets through the gate. In other words, you can train it to see a new truth, a new reality. And this is where quantum physics and spiritual truth meet. In quantum terms, reality exists as waveform, potential, pure possibility, until it's observed. And when observation is combined with intention and emotion, that potential collapses into form, into the version of reality that you recognize as your life. So, while the brain acts like a translator, consciousness is the selector. It picks the frequency. It determines what becomes real. And the more you consciously direct what you focus on, what you expect, and what you emotionally repeat, the more you begin shifting the entire lens through which reality is formed. And from this vantage point, you're no longer reacting to what is. You're consciously creating what's next, because reality is not fixed, it's filtered, and you are the one deciding what gets through. So let's take it one layer deeper. Quantum physics tells us that everything exists as potential first, not just one outcome and not just one version of you, but infinite timelines, all existing in a wave-like, unformed state. Until you focus, and the moment you place your attention on something with consistency and emotion, you collapse that wave into a particle into form. You pull that timeline into your field. This means you are not living in a fixed reality. You are living inside of a self-curated illusion that updates every time you shift your focus, every thought you revisit, every story you rehearse, every assumption you energize with your feelings. That becomes the reality and the timeline that you experience. So, when people say stay on your timeline, what they're really saying is stay loyal to your vision, stay emotionally committed to the outcome that you've chosen, because if you shift your focus, you shift your reality. And the more stabilized your focus becomes, the more momentum that timeline gathers. It becomes your default, your norm, your physical experience. Now, if you've watched my videos on the God state, you'll know what I'm about to say. The God state is the level of consciousness where you learn to stop chasing what's wanted and start commanding it with certainty as your experience of reality. You don't just focus on the outcome, you become the one who knows it's already done, and allow the unseen energies of the universe to work in your favor. It's what's referred to as identity level creation, the kind of state where timelines align to you because you are no longer signaling doubt, delay, or separation. If you want to go deeper into that level of creation, be sure to watch my video about it. After this one, there's a card popping up on the screen now that will help you understand this better. Now that you understand how focus selects timelines, let's talk about how to stabilize it. Because this is where many people often lose their connection to the new reality. They visualize a few times, they set the intention, they even feel aligned for a day or two. But then, life throws something off. They get distracted by what they don't want. They start reacting to what's still playing out from their past energy, and then, without realizing it, they reinforce the calmed timeline that they've already been on, rather than shifting to a new one. So, here's how you shift into the timeline that you're choosing and stay locked into it. Number 1, you must decide with certainty. This seems subtle, but it's actually very powerful. I hear from people all of the time how they hoped or wished their new reality would show up, but the ones who shift timelines fast decide with certainty that it's already done. They claim it and walk forward as if life is now responding to that claim. This act of internal certainty, energetic closure on the old, and validation of the new is the beginning of real momentum. Number 2. Keep acting like it's already real. Your body, your tone of voice, your posture, your thoughts should reflect the version of you who's already living in the outcome. You must become someone new to experience something new. When you do this, you're telling your subconscious mind and your nervous system, this is who I am now. This is the reality that we're loyal to. I live to it as my experience. And the subconscious mind, which is deeply habit-based, will begin to conform. It will update the signals it sends to the quantum field and the world around. You will begin to reflect that. It will open your perceptual field to all of the processes, new possible ways that this reality can and will become manifest for you. Number 3 is to stop rehearsing the old timeline. You must be ruthless with this. Don't talk about how hard it's been. Don't repeat stories of being stuck, overlooked, or unsupported. Those are instructions to your perceptual system to find more of the same. Instead, begin to rehearse the new timeline and the new story until it becomes natural. In other words, tell better feeling stories. Speak about how wonderful your life is. Tell others how amazingly well things are going for you. And be delusional about it. If your current circumstances don't match yet, just remind yourself that's simply the old illusion. It has nothing to do with who I am now. When you stay steady in this identity, when you refuse to collapse back into old emotional habits, you stabilize your new signal and your new timeline. And once the signal is stabilized, the quantum field must respond. It's universal law. And number 4 is to train your perception to expect evidence. Once you've stopped feeling the old timeline, your job isn't to wait for signs or look for proof, but to anticipate alignment, to expect it. Your brain's reticular activating system filters what you notice based on what it thinks matters to you. So, when you begin to expect evidence of your new timeline, it will start highlighting the matching people, signs, synchronicities, gut feelings, and shifts. To do this effectively, begin to take your everyday experiences and label them as evidence. Even something small like an unexpected compliment or a moment of ease can be your new evidence if you're looking through the lens of alignment. So tell yourself, here is my evidence that my new timeline is forming around me. Instead of thinking, is it working yet? Or where's the proof? You'll start thinking, of course it's working. I'm on the path already because you are. And the more you do this, the more you will train your brain to believe you're on that path and to seek out and create more instances of everything lining up for you. In other words, your perception will begin confirming it automatically. Just remember that you don't need to keep fixing what you've already chosen to change. You're no longer at the mercy of what shows up. You are the signal and reality is the echo. and the echo always returns what the signal demands. So let the outer world recalibrate to you rather than calibrating to it, because that's how true creation works, from the inside out.